Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. We thank you for coming back on this Thursday evening for updates as to our plans to reopen. We have additional information. We have some things that have slightly changed, and we are sharing this information so that everyone in our district will know exactly what to expect in the coming few days. So let's get right into our presentation, shall we? Let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you again for this opportunity to be able to share as a community of faith our reopening plans. We ask that you encourage each member, each individual, each household, each family, as we come closer and closer to be able to return to in-person worship. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. This is the church reopening guidelines for the Highland Crest Community Seventh-day Adventist Church in Topeka, Kansas, and the Shiloh Seventh-day Adventist Church in Leavenworth, Kansas. And across our entire conference, many of the churches are following these guidelines that have been adapted, for the most part, for their own particular worship environment. The news that everyone has been asking is exactly when is the date that we are returning. For Shiloh, we are scheduling the Sabbath of the 15th, which is not this Sabbath, but the following Sabbath. Sabbath the 15th is when we are scheduling our reopening after 1 year and 3 months. For Highland Crest, we will be reopening on the 22nd. For Highland Crest, we will be reopening for in-person worship on the 22nd. When you arrive at the facility, there will be hot water, soap, and or sanitizer for you to wash your hands. Everyone will be required to use either hot water and soap or hand sanitizer before entering into the worship environment. Because we are still in COVID-19, because the pandemic is still out there, and today there were over 600 deaths here in the United States because of this, we are asking the members not to hug or kiss. No holy hugs, no sanctified kissing. You can greet each other by waving, bumping elbows, tapping feet, but we ask that there be no hugging or kissing. I realize that many have not seen each other for over a year, so please refrain from that type of greeting. You will also have to go through a temperature check. There will be handheld thermometers at the door. Individuals will be taking your temperature. If your temperature is above normal, we're going to ask for you to return home and join us online. Anyone with an above normal temperature will not be able to worship in person until that temperature goes down. I realize some might be battling a cold, some might have allergies, but if the temperature is above normal, we're asking you to return home and worship online. We will institute contact tracing. Contact tracing for everyone who comes into our facilities. All you have to do is put down your name, your phone number, and your address, and we will put it in our data bank. So the next time you come, we'll have that information available. But we need that in case someone has contracted the virus but are showing no symptoms, and someone else that they come in contact with comes down with it. We'll know who all was present, who all was in the area, and the health authorities will be able to move swiftly on that. Again, we have to have that list that is mandated by the conference and their parent organizations. And if you are unwilling to give that information, then we ask that you stay home and worship online. Masks must be worn at all times. When you enter the facility, you must have on your mask. When you are in the worship experience, you must have on your mask. When you leave to head out, you must have on your mask until you exit the facility. So be prepared to be in your mask for the duration of the time when you enter the building until the time you leave. This is required. If you do not want to wear a mask, we ask that you stay home and worship online. Anyone without a mask will not be allowed into the facilities. Now, we will have extra masks in case your store is dirty or you can't find it. We will have an extra mask for you and masks for your family. At the end of our service, the facilities that we are in must be sanitized after the service. Now, for those churches that are going to 2 and 3 and 4 services because of social distancing, every time the service is over, they have to sanitize the worship area, the public areas, lobby, restrooms, sanctuary, nurseries, overflow rooms, wherever people were hanging out. It has to be sanitized. Our doors will open for Shiloh on the 15th at 11:15 a.m. Service will begin at 11:45 a.m. For Highland Crest on the 22nd, doors will open at 11:15 and service will begin at 11:45 a.m. Central Time. Now, streaming begins at 11:30. We will begin our live stream at 11:30 to give people time to tune in and get their families together if they have not gathered at the facilities. And so during that 15-minute time period between 11:30 and 11:45, we're going to ask that you refrain from any unnecessary movement. Please plan to be in your seats by 11:30, and please resist the urge to move. Go to the restroom, get your water beforehand, but at 11:30, we're asking everyone to be seated because we will start our live stream, and our mics are very sensitive, and they will pick up just about anything. And we don't want banging around, scraping around, hushed whisperings taking place during the live stream countdown. Families that have quarantined together must sit together in pods. At Shiloh, in the fellowship hall, the chairs will be set up in pods. They'll be set up in groups of 6, 4, 2, and 1. The singles must sit alone. You cannot sit with your buddy. You cannot sit with your friend. Only families who have lived together in the same household will be able to sit together. It's called being in a pod. The chairs will be socially adjusted, so there will be 6 feet on either side, front and back, left and right of each pod. So when you come in and you see the chairs in unique configurations, don't move them. If your family is more than 6 that has been staying with you, we will add a chair, but do not move the chairs. They are designed to be socially distant so that those who are worshiping can remain socially distant. At Highland Crest, some of the pews will be marked off. You can't sit on those pews. Some of the pews will be divided in half. That's because we need space for family pods. Please understand this. If you don't want to sit by yourself and you're on your own, then you have to remain at home and worship online. Clorox wipes will be used for all surfaces during the service. If you hand off a mic to someone, you have to wipe it down first before you hand it to them. The podiums, the lecterns, they all will be wiped down whenever someone is using them with the Clorox wipes. For the individuals collecting the offerings will be collected at the end of service at the door on your way out to expedite the service. But those individuals holding the offering plates, they will be in latex gloves. We have scores and scores and scores of latex gloves, rubber gloves as well, so that those holding the offering plates, they will be wearing the gloves. Now at Shiloh, there will be no singing. Even though we are wearing masks throughout the entire service, we will not engage in singing. Singing will only be allowed if there are windows that can be opened. Since the fellowship hall has no windows that can be opened, we will not be singing at Shiloh. At Highland Crest, we do have windows that open. We can open 4 windows there in the sanctuary. So in Highland Crest, we're going to be able to sing at least one song during the service. But at Shiloh, we will not be able to sing. Even though we're in that real big auditorium, we cannot sing because there are no windows to open. The conference has asked that we maintain our online presence, our online services. Most of the churches here in Central States and around the North American division are live streaming on multiple platforms at one time. Here at Highland Crest and Shiloh, we live stream on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. We are going to maintain that presence. We have built up a nice congregation of individuals across this nation and around the world who watch us every Sabbath on our live stream. So when you get into the facility, you will see the live stream production area set up. Please do not go sit there. Those are for the audio technicians who will be running the live stream. Find another seat to sit in, as long as it is a family pod and you're part of that family. But you will see the studio set up, and please do not touch anything. Don't mess with any wires. Don't go walking around up there, because if something gets disconnected, it can mess up the entire stream. When the service is over, you must exit the building. There will be no standing around laughing and talking and shooting the breeze. You must leave the facility, drop your offering in the plate on the way out the door, and leave the facility. Now, you can talk and hang around and do all that that you want outside the building, but you must leave the building after you have gone through the doors and dropped off your offering. Because of the pandemic and the uniqueness of this situation, and limiting the amount of time that we are inside a confined facility, there will not be Sabbath school. And there will not be any prayer meeting. Prayer meeting will continue online like we've been doing for the last year and 3 months. Prayer meeting will be live streamed like we have for the last year and 3 months, but prayer meeting will not be in the facilities. Sabbath school will not be in the facilities, and we're going to follow that until a later time where we are able to congregate for a longer period of time in an enclosed space. They're saying that hopefully we'll be able to get back to doing a lot of things we did before come July or shortly thereafter. So just remember, no Sabbath school. Don't come to the facility expecting to find Sabbath school. The doors will be locked. They won't open until 11:15. As I mentioned, the sanctuary, the fellowship hall, they must be sanitized following each service. We have PPE equipment, and it must be worn while cleaning the halls, the lobbies, and the restrooms. Everything in the public area that we went into during the beginning of the worship experience, restrooms, the lobby, the water fountains, etc., they must all be sanitized at the end of the service. We have a backpack sanitizer that sprays this disinfecting mist 20 feet in the air. The person operating that must have a mask on, a shield on, must have the gown on, and the gloves on to sanitize all public areas. So when they're in there sanitizing, do not go back in, because we are preparing it for the next congregation. Both churches have renters now, and we must make sure that the facility is germ-free and ready for the next congregation to come in the following morning. Now, if you notice something's grayed out, it says submit protocol checklist to conference before approval. Ours has been approved. Elder Josiah has given us permission to go back into our facility, so that's already been taken care of. Elder Bernard has stressed that this is not mandatory. There are some pastors who are not going to reopen their churches. Some of the members are just not comfortable with coming back into an environment where they might catch COVID. Now, if you are uncomfortable in such an environment as that, or you don't want to wear a mask, or you don't want to sit in a pod, or you don't feel that it's not worship without singing, please stay home and worship online. But we must follow those protocols. But our opening is not mandatory, and we'll see how things are going to see if we stay open. We stay open if everybody adheres to the COVID-19 protocols so everyone can remain safe. These protocols are non-negotiable. The protocol list will be in the front at the desk of each facility. The individual who is doing the contact tracing will initial and date when each protocol for that service is met. Those are our protocols for reopening the Highland Crest Community Seventh-day Adventist Church in Topeka, Kansas, and the Shiloh Seventh-day Adventist Church in Leavenworth, Kansas. Again, if you have any questions, just reach out and text me. My number is 815-735-2175. That's 815-735-2175 if you have a question and you want to send me a text. If you want to send me an email, it's onefeather0917@yahoo.com. That's one feather, the word one feather, that's one long word, 0917@yahoo.com. Or you can drop me a message on Messenger through Facebook, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. We're looking forward to May 15 and May 22nd. I'm so glad that so many of you were able to join us this evening. Our next live stream will be Sabbath at 11:45 a.m. Sabbath at 11:45 a.m. for worship. If there are any other additional updates, we will provide that information for you at that time. We hope that you have had a wonderful day and that you will have a wonderful evening and a rest of your week. Thank you for being with us tonight.